Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. It is good old MF Michael Fletcher, along with Anthony the Hitman Florio and the Twisted Angel Dee Woodson, and welcome to another edition of the show. Tonight, we got a very good show for you all. We are going to recap Smackdown Live that went down earlier this evening. Unfortunately, I'll be unable to give you my thoughts on the review because due to work commitments beyond my control. So Dee Woodson and Anthony Florio are going to be running a two-person weave. And then what I will give you guys tonight is the Mikey's Mindset. I have Ring of Honor news basically from their latest show. Plus, I'll give you a rundown of their All-Star Extravaganza pay-per-view event that's coming up very soon. Then also I have a recap from last week's Lucha Underground. We're going to get into that as well. I also got a recap from Fatal Impact and some shocking news coming out of the RWA, and it has to do at 681 Broadway. Major development that broke out during the week. We'll get into that and much more right here tonight on the Cerebral Smack Talk, and we are so delighted that you guys are joining us tonight. So with that said, let's start right off with Smackdown Live. Smackdown Live went down just about it just ended about, I want to say, more or less 35 minutes ago. It was from the Legacy Arena in Birmingham, Alabama, and we started it off with an in-ring segment. Actually, for the first time that I could ever think of, the women was center stage on this one. It started off with Daniel Bryan, the general manager of SmackDown Live, and he got to introduce the reigning and defending the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, the last kicker, Becky Lynch, was interrupted by actually after that, then Daniel Bryan introduced the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Alexa Bliss, and, well, the next thing we know was, pretty decent, a pretty decent segment. I really think I liked it. I thought decent opener. I think, both girls, I think they kind of played off the script a little too much. I wanted a little more legitimacy, a little more feeling or emotion or something like that. It kind of felt too scripted. I'm sorry. I kind of felt like it was good. I'm not gonna knock it. I was expecting a little more out of it. I think that's the key word. Is that it was good, it was solid. It just left a little from what I've read or what I heard. Anthony, you can jump on in, my friend. Do you agree with the assessment from the fan base? Because that's what I'm hearing, or that's what I'm reading from the IWC, that it was good, but they were expecting a little more out of it.
I got to respectfully disagree with those in the IWC there, MF. Yes, hello, friends. Ridiculously Over, Anthony Hitman Florio here with you for this all-new installment of the Cerebral Smack Talk. We're glad to have you with us. And, yeah, unlike those in the IWC who really didn't like this segment, I actually enjoyed it, honestly. I mean, I thought it came out really good. I mean, I couldn't help but think about you and me, MF, because this is another one of those, this is another women's feud that we're excited about. Unlike that other one in TNA, which has been, very, well, rather meh, even though we're honestly excited to see it, because you already know that story. I'm not going to rehash it from last night. But when it comes to this women's feud, Michael Fletcher, MF, is a Becky Lynch guy, whereas I'm an Alexa Bliss guy. I'm going to be real honest with you. Not just because it's not just because of the beauty. It's also because of the fact that Alexa Bliss shares a birthday with me. And that's another reason. That could really play into that really well. And overall, let me just say it like this. That was a very good opening segment. It did not go too long and actually felt like it meant something, and it showed some real emotion. I mean, they were both great, honestly. But if I'm going to be real honest, I thought Alexa Bliss was just a little better, honestly. I mean, I really love. I love. I love. I mean, the eyes. I mean, when it comes to me, the first thing I notice about a woman is the eyes. And when I saw, I mean, the facial expressions that Alexa had during that, it was just something about the eyes, man. The eyes had it for me, really. And I couldn't believe it. It was just amazing. I was like, wow. I'm like, those eyes. I'm like, whoa, those eyes. Whoa. Oh, my goodness. I mean, she was focused, man. She wanted it. And she's got her eyes on the prize. That is the SmackDown Women's Championship. And October 9 at No Mercy and at the Arco Arena in Sacramento, we'll find out if she actually goes over and wins it. My early projection is no. I got Becky going over, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But for right now, Alexa Bliss definitely came out better. Even though Becky was great too, I got to say Alexa was just a smidge better. So, like I said, that was a very good opening segment. Did not go too long. Felt like it meant something, and it showed some real emotions. So, well done. Default segment of the night because I didn't really see any other in-ring segment that I noticed. So with that said, Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Whitson, the first lady of the Wrestling Forum. Your thoughts on this? And it's great to have you back, by the way. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. I can actually say this is my first day off in over a week, so I got to actually enjoy it today. So, I agree. I definitely agree. This was one really good segment. And yeah, I believe you're right that it was the only in-ring segment we had. My only thing is the way Alexa ran off the ramp. She was sitting there waving her arms like a maniac woman. So that was kind of hilarious there. But it was a very good segment. I think both girls got their point across, and Alexa definitely played up the heel role very, very well. So not much more to say about it. So Fletch, it's yours.
All right, guys, and like you said, there wasn't really that many in-ring segments. It was more about the action, and that's what you'll get more than anything else on SmackDown Live because of the fact that it's only a 2-hour show, not that long, drawn-out, 3-hour boring crap you're going to see on Monday Night Raw. And yes, that is a direct shot at Raw. If anybody has a problem with that, you can, arrogance for all I care. But the first fight of the night we had was a number one contenders. Basically, the winner of this fight would get an opportunity at the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. It was the Usos, and they went up against the returning Chad Gable, Jason Jordan, American Alpha. It finally happened. The Usos and the Alpha and American Alpha gets to go on it one-on-one. Well, in tag team action, and the winner of the bout, number one contenders for the tag team championship, the Usos. They win it. They're the number one contenders. But to you, my dear, what did you think about this match?
Oh, it was a pretty strong tag match, in my opinion. Usos did very well playing up the heel and continually going after Gable, trying to re-injure him to knock him out of any chance of going for the tag team titles. But very well win that they got off on this. I'll give it about 3 stars. So Florio, it's yours.
Second best fight of the night for me. Let me just check my notes here. Time of the fall, 10 minutes and 25 seconds. 3.25 stars is my rating for the bout. A very good and smartly worked match. The Usos were the opportunistic heels that attacked the pre-existing injury, and Jordan had to make the difficult decision to not tag out because Gable was too hurt. They played this very well, and the Usos winning the match and becoming number one contenders And now the Usos winning the titles to set up the Alpha Chase makes perfect sense. So this was actually a pseudo number one contenders match. They didn't officially announce it as such, but it was a number one contenders match. Usos, American Alpha, with the winners going up against Heath Slater and Rhino at No Mercy for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Usos won it, so the Usos will now go up against Heath Slater and Rhino for those Tag Team Championship on October 9th at No Mercy at the Arco Arena in Sacramento. So you heard it here first. I think the Usos are going to win the belts, and then we can have that Tag Team Championship feud with the Usos and American Alpha. And if this first match wasn't any indication, well, we're in for an awesome, one of the best tag team title feuds we've seen in a long time. So 3.25 stars, no doubt about it. Second best fight of the night for me. So with that said, MF, let's move on.
All right, guys. Next up on the fight card we had was Baron Corbin. He went one-on-one with Apollo Crews. Jack Swagger was actually on commentary for this one, and the winner of the bout was Baron Corbin. Anthony Florio, I hand it off to you. So what was your thoughts about this match?
I don't really have a rating for this. I'm going to give it a no rating on this. I could really call it a dud, honestly. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. This was one of the 3 worst fights of the night for me. I would probably say third worst fight of the night. There were 2 others I thought were worse, but let me check my liner notes here. There you go. Okay. Crews showed good fire early, but Corbin was made to look like an ass kicker to set him up for the feud with Jack Swagger. I really wish that they had some sort of direction for Crews right now, but unfortunately, he was only there to make Corbin look good, which he did. Crews was really brought up too early. In ring, he is ready, but he has no character or personality at all. He's just the athletic guy that smiles, which to Kevin Dunn may in fact be a character, but is a large part as to why he has failed. There is nothing to connect to. So no rating to a dud for me. Third worst fight of the night. I mean, way too short, so didn't really feel it. So Didi, what's in your thoughts on Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews?
I'll agree on that. Too short. Squash match. Nothing else to say.
All right. Next up we had was, well, all right, guys. Here we go. It is the big one for the Intercontinental Championship. This was promoted last night on Raw, and we're getting it now. Is versus Dolph Ziggler for the IC title. The winner of the bout, still Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. He wins. I believe this goes off to Didi Woodson, my dear.
I would say this was a fairly good match. Still Miz still with the cheap win. I got a little confused, though, because I thought Ziggler said that he wanted a match without Maurice at ringside, and then they ended up leaving her out there until the ref kicked her out. So I got a little confused with that part, but other than that, I mean, it was a fairly good match. Yeah, she tried to interfere, and I think she's the one who left whatever that was that Miz blew into Ziggler's face or whatever to win. So I'll give it probably a 3.5 star. So Florio, what's yours?
Fight of the night. Absolutely right, Didi Woodson. You absolutely nailed this on the head. This was the fight of the night. 15 minutes and 58 seconds, the time of the fall. I'm going to go a smidge higher here. I'm going to give it between 3 3/4 to 4 stars. I mean, no doubt about it. I agree with you. It was the fight of the night. And let me just find my liner note here. All right. This was another great outing from these two, playing off of what worked in the Backlash match and providing very good overall action, as well as some very strong and believable near falls with that feel of Shakespearean drama. No doubt about it. Miz using Daniel Bryan's spots to piss off Bryan and still managing to steal and win without Maurice again makes him completely unlikable and adds to Bryan's frustration with his Intercontinental Heavyweight Champions. So, yes, phenomenal match, no question about it. And I can honestly say it was. I think it might have been even a little bit more better than the Backlash match, even though the Backlash match was just as phenomenal. But this one I thought was a smidgen better. I mean, these two guys over the last couple of weeks have managed to make this championship feel prestigious again. And remember how back in the day these Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship matches used to be so prestigious back in the day with all these legends and Hall of Famers that used to go at it for this thing, make it feel worthy. Well, over the last 2 weeks, these two guys at Backlash and then again tonight, over the last 9 days, have really made this championship feel worthy and prestigious. Keep it up, guys. That's what I want to see. So the Miz tour continues, and I read some dirt sheets over the last few weeks over the last week or so, saying that a rumor is going around that we could see these two go at it yet again at No Mercy for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, this time in the confines of a 15-foot high steel cage. I mean, those are just rumors now. Take it with a grain of salt, like Derek would say, or as I say, read into it what you will. So that's all I can say. So phenomenal match. Fight of the night, 3 3/4 to 4 stars. No question about it. Well done, Miz. Well done, Ziggler. And way to make that title feel prestigious. A title that I hold very near and dear to my heart. You know that. So with that said, MF, nothing left to say except just move on.
All right, we will definitely indeed move on. And the next thing we had was Randy Orton go one-on-one with Eric Rowan. The winner of the bout was Randy Orton. So, Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Another no rating to dud here. 2 minutes and 15 seconds, the time of the fall. Second worst fight of the night for me. This was a quick win to get Orton back on TV and to continue the Wyatt feud. I think Rowan got too much in as he took 90% of the match, and then Orton hits 2 moves and wins. Orton is a star. Rowan is a henchman. A more dominant win for Orton, especially in the fallout of the Lesnar whooping that he endured at SummerSlam, would have fit. A more dominant win for Orton, especially in the fallout of the Lesnar whooping, would have fit better. It's a small minor complaint, though. That's really all I can say. I'm fully expecting another Randy Orton Bray Wyatt match at No Mercy. Hopefully that's better than what we had here. So that's all there is to say. So another no rating to dud. Second worst fight of the night. 2 minutes, 15 seconds. That's it. So Edie Woodson, your thoughts?
Totally agree. That's about all I'm going to say.
All right, so with that, we're going to move on to the next one. Well, okay, apparently, you know what? I'm going to save you guys here because apparently this one never really got off the ground. It was supposed to be Carmella and Natalya versus Nikki Bella and Naomi, and basically the fight was a no contest because I guess the bell never rang, and it literally turned into a brawl. It was a full-on, full-scale that broke out. So I mean, it only lasted about 30 seconds. So basically, there's no really need to go into it. So we're just gonna save that one. That's just an absolute throwout. But now, oh no, this is our main event of the evening. Wow, it's been so quick. All right, well, here we go. Dean Ambrose one-on-one with John Cena is our main event of the evening. The winner of the bout is the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose, and Dee Woodson. You lead off on our main event, my dear.
I thought it was a fairly good match. I mean, there's a lot of back and forth. For me, this would probably be the second to the best fight of the night. With the first one going to Miz and Ziggler. So I would probably rate this about 3.5 stars. Like I said, it was really good. And nice little setup, I guess you could say, for what's the pay-per-view coming up and everything. So that's about all I'm going to say, because I know Florio's got a lot more to say. So it's to you, Florio.
Yes, indeed. And I have to respectfully disagree with Dee Dee Whitson's rating. I thought she overscored it a bit. Third best fight of the night for me. It was a 10-minute, 20-second match. I'm going to give it between 2.5 and 3, though. I mean, a little off, but not that far off. It was only 2.5 to 3 for me. Third best fight of the night. It was a fine but average outing. They did nothing prior to the break. Then they did some heat, finisher kickouts, and then a weak counter finish. Not bad, just average. I mean, and Ambrose wins it with a sunset flip. I would have preferred to have had it. I mean, I'm glad Ambrose got the win. I mean, I have no qualms about that whatsoever. But to me, I would have liked to have seen a more decisive win for Ambrose. That's what I would have liked to have seen. I mean, winning with a sunset flip is just as bad as winning with a roll up, if I'm going to be real honest with you. And I mean, I don't know what else there is for me to say here, except I was very excited about this match, but they didn't really have much time to work with, and it's a damn shame. But it was only a 10 minute and 20-second bout. I was honestly expecting more, but at the end of the night, Daniel Bryan actually would come out and he would announce that Dean Ambrose is going to get a one-on-one rematch with AJ Styles for the WWE World Championship next week on SmackDown. Whoa. A WWE World Championship match on SmackDown Live next week? Whoa, how about that, huh? That should be awesome. I mean, if it's anything like that 4.5 to 5-star bout they had at Backlash, we're in for a treat next Tuesday night. So that's all there is to say on that. So third best fight for me, 2.5 to 3 stars. So I guess it's on to our overall review then, huh, MF?
Overall review time. Yeah, go ahead, Florio.
All right. Before I give you my overall score, let me just give you, my brief thoughts on everything else. Fletch spared us from the women's match. That was the worst fight of the night. It was a 36-second match. That was a no rating to a dud. I mean, when it comes to that, it felt as if they were running out of time and had to cut the hell out of it. At the very least, they got to do a little setup for the two feuds underneath Alexa and Becky. When it comes to the women's division, Nikki and Carmella and Naomi and Natalya, obviously looks like they're going to have a feud. So that's pretty much all I can say there. So as far as, highlights and lowlights go, fight of the night, no doubt about it. Miz and Ziggler, Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match, 3 3/4 to 4 stars. Second best fight, I got to give it to American Alpha and the Usos, 3 1/4 stars on that one. Ambrose and Cena comes in, rounds out the top 3, 2.5 to 3 stars there. Those were the far and away the 3 best fights of the night. And then you had those 3 lowlights, of course, the women's tag team match. That was the worst fight of the night. Orton and Rowan, second worst fight of the night. And then Corbin and Cruz as the third worst fight of the night. All 3 of those, no rating to a dud. So, but because of the body of work of those other 3 matches, especially the Miz and Ziggler, my overall score on this is an 8 out of 10. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. I know that the 2 hours versus 3 hours is part of it, but SmackDown was not only a better show again, but it was extremely focused this week. Every segment meant something. They set up matches for the No Mercy pay-per-view. They continued build for other matches and feuds, and the Miz versus Ziggler match was unreal. And add in the fact that they announced another big match for next week, that being AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose for the WWE World Championship. and set that up with the Ambrose win. And this was a very good show. So a solid 8 out of 10. Well done, SmackDown Live. They continue to be better. And this coming from a Raw guy, I'll be real honest with you. SmackDown Live has been the more consistent show. If only Monday Night Raw could be just as good as this, if not better. So take note, Monday Night Raw. This is how you put on a show. And I know it's all about the money to Vince McMahon and everything else, but let me just say it like this. Monday Night Raw needs to go from 3 hours back down to 2. And this is what's working for SmackDown. This is why SmackDown has been the more consistent show since this whole brain extension thing started a couple of months ago. So that's my little mini rant I wanted to get off my chest. So 8 out of 10 and another damn good SmackDown Live. Well done, Team Blue. Keep it up. Edie Whitson, your overall thoughts on the show tonight?
I would agree with the rating. It was a really good SmackDown show, and I've always, out of the siblings, I've always liked Shane better than Stephanie anyway. So seeing Shane on SmackDown, seeing it this successful, I mean, that just proves which one seems to have a little bit more business sense than the other. Although we all know it's all scripted and Vince has got his hand on everything. So anyway, yeah, I really, I'm really glad we did skip one certain match, because I probably would have gone on a big rant on it. So for me, I'm not going to say too much more on it. So Fletch, it's yours.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for at least this part. It's now time for the Mikey's Mindset, and we're just going to dive right in on that portion of the show. I'm going to do it. It's going to be, it started out with Ring of Honor Wrestling, as they are continued their road to the All-Star Extravaganza show, which is gonna be one of their big pay-per-view events of the year. And it started out with basically of the Bullet Club. They went at it as they started with as they fought off with the Cabinet. Well, first off, the big announcement was the return of Steve Corino back to basically the broadcasting position. Of course, Steve Corino was suspended for 1 full year after he got himself into a major scrap and major fight with members with BJ Whitmer. Of course, Corino was fully retired. Nigel McGuinness basically warned him that if you got into any physical altercation with BJ Whitmer again, that you had no choice, but I was going to have to force to suspend you indefinitely. Well, Corino basically did put his hands on BJ Whitmer, and it cost him huge, because Nigel McGuinness suspended him without pay for 1 year. So it started out. So that's when Nigel McGuinness brought Steve Corino back, and much to the delight of everybody else, and they handled their job. They did their job. So it started out with Tonga and Hamada from the Bullet Club against basically 2 members of the Cabinet. Bullet Club wins the match pretty easily. Then you had Trevor Lee and Williams. They come out. They hammered a couple of jobbers. Then they called out War Machine, which is basically, well, it's a big mistake. You got War Machine. You wanted a fight. You got a fight. And Williams and Trevor Lee actually got the job done. They beat War Machine 1, 2, 3, center of the ring. And that was a shot. Well, actually, it was a DQ finish, I should say. The main event of the evening, which was Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, and Tonga. Of course, this is New Japan. If I pronounce the names, I'm sorry. If I botched it, I apologize in advance. But these 3 names, I'm not going to botch. They went up in 6-man tag team action against Roppongi Vice, which is Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta. These two guys, you guys know, in the United States, they're really big in Japan. But the next name I'm gonna do this because I gotta put the camera on because I need to do this with justice. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the reigning, defending IWGP Heavyweight Champion of the World, the Rainmaker, Kushihiro Okata. He was in action as well. What I just did was the Rainmaker pose, and I'm telling you guys, other than Shinsuke Nakamura, this is my favorite wrestler in all of New Japan Pro Wrestling today. This is the Kingpin, the champion, and basically he's the face that runs New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. That's as good as I can say about it. And at the end of the night, unfortunately, this time around, they actually lose. Roppongi Vice and Okada loses. The winners was Tahiro Agomi and Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. They won the match. The total show as a whole, I'm going to give it about maybe 6 to 6.5. Now, the next event that is coming up for them, and this is actually going to be in about 10 days, is going to be the All-Star Extravaganza 2016, and I'm actually going to give you the entire fight card right now. So just bear with me, guys, for one moment because we have it right here. See if this is the correct. Nope, that's not it. All right, hold on. I believe it's this one. All right. So what we have right now, and this is just an unofficial. Nothing's confirmed yet, and this show is going down on Friday night, September 30th, from the Lowell Memorial Auditorium in Lowell, Massachusetts. Now, here is the card as it stands right now. We got Jay Lethal. He's going up against against Naito. That's a one-on-one match. Dragon Lee versus Kushida. That's a one-on-one match. And now the big fights for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship in a ladder war. That's right. The sadistic, the dangerous, the most vile match in Ring of Honor history, Ladder War 6, is a triple threat tag team match for the titles. The Addiction, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian versus the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin versus the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. This is unbelievable. Then, for the first time ever, we are going to determine, well, this is a first round match to determine the new and future 6-man tag team title match. It's gonna be the Briscoes, Jay and Mark Briscoe and Tori Yano. These guys were former IWGP 6-man tag team champions, and they go up against ACH, Leo Rush, and Jay White. Then, for the Ring of Honor World Television title, it's going to be Bobby Fish putting the title on the line against Donovan Dijak with Prince Nana in his corner. And in the main event right now, it's going to be the Ring of Honor champion, member of the Bullet Club, Adam Cole, and he's going to go one-on-one with the IWGP Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Unbreakable Michael Elgin. That's our main event for the evening. Whew. Are you ready for an amazing show, to say the very least? All right. So, that's one show. Just hang on one second. Hold on, folks. I had to step away just for a moment, so I apologize for that. So right now we're gonna go into the next part, which is Lucha Underground. Now, I know Anthony Florio has been waiting for my thoughts about this amazing show, and there was one match he's been dying to hear what I had to say about Lucha Underground. So you know what? You wanted it, Florio. I'm not gonna hesitate. I'm gonna give it to you right here, right now. But before we get to Lucha Underground, there was one thing that had to be addressed first. So we started it off with basically Dr. Wagner Jr. He went one-on-one with Mascarita Sagrada. Now, there was a lot of stories about this match. Of course, Dr. Wagner Jr. won the fight. This was away the worst fight of the night. I got nothing amazing to say about this one. But what happened next was we had Mil Muertes going one-on-one. He actually went one-on-one, and he went up against Arganas, and Mil Muertes wins the match very handily, no problem. But after the fight was over, Prince Puma showed up, and basically, between these two, let's just say it is reconfigured, redesigned, even more vicious than ever before. And okay, the moment has arrived, and the match that I know you are waiting for. It was a mass destruction match. It was Marty the Moth Martinez versus Killshot. Oh my effing God. 5 stars and beyond. This was the most bloodiest, most chaotic. If you're an ECW fan, this fight is for you. This brought me back to the ECW days. I mean, the violence, the chaos, the destruction, the absolute chaos of this match. It went all over the temple in Boyle Heights. It got so crazy. I never seen a fight like this in my life. This is why I love Lucha Underground, because this fight was freaking awesome. And Anthony, it's the best fight I've ever seen. I mean, in the 3 years that they've done Lucha Underground, this has to go down as one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life. And I was so honored to have seen this match. That's how amazing this fight was. There's nothing more to say. I mean, 5 stars and beyond for the entire show. Even though the first 2 fights were not great, just for the main event alone, this gave it a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. That's how great this epic show was. There's really nothing more to say about that. So we're just going to dive right in to RWA. And like I said, RWA had their last show, which was the Fatal Impact show. So I'm just going to dive right into this show right here, right now, and I'm going to give you what was for RWA. And I need to say, and then I'm going to get into the news about what has happened with RWA, because there was a lot of stuff that actually broke down after the show was over, and I'm gonna get into that, like I said, in a matter of moments. So first off, let's get into the RWA, and then we'll go from there. So with the RWA, like I said, we had a great card, we had a great show, and the whole lineup went like this. Okay, our pre-show fight was the Mac Attack versus Tim Davidson and Tim Lennox. Team Mac Attack won the match. The first fight of the night was the big man fight, Brian Malonis versus Ace Romero. Brian Malonis won that match. Then we had Tom Billington, the Insane Dick Lane, and Asana versus Stan, the Man Styles, and the Middlesex Express. The winner of that bout was Asana, Dick Lane, and Tom Billington. Then we had Connor one-on-one with Judge Chambers. Jack Connor won that match. Then the next fight we had was a triple threat match. T Phoenix versus Chris Pyro versus DJ AC. T Phoenix, basically easy victory for them. I don't want to call it a squash because it wasn't, but it was a big victory for him. Then we had the RWA tag team titles were on the line. The President God, Devin Blades, and Tommy Trainwreck. The Minutemen went up against Shay Cash and Frank Champion, the heavy hitters, the winners of the bout, and still RWA tag team champions, the Minutemen. Then we had a match. It was the Firebrand. Brian Fury went up against the Mind Eraser, Mike Grassa, with high-class Rich Bass in his corner. The winner of the bout was Mike Grassa. That was a big victory for him. A lot of fans were really shocked with the outcome of that match, but it did happen, and congratulations to him. So David Baker went up against Sammy Delone and Tyler Nitro in a what they call a hype division fight. Comes out with the victory in that one. Next up, we had Nick Marchand versus All Good Anthony Green and Kellen Thomas. And this was also in a hype division fight. Nick Marchand gets the victory there. Now, this one was the most emotional fight I've ever seen in RWA's history. And when I heard about this fight, I could not believe my ears. The ace, Mike Montero, had to put his career on the line. And he had to fight a person that Devin Blades was going to handpick. A handpicked opponent for Devin Blades. Well, the opponent was selected, and the person that he chose, I cannot even believe this even happened. It's Jason Devine. Now, what many people don't know is Jason Devine was Mike Montero's tag team partner. This is a brotherhood of over 6. These guys were the influence. Former RWA tag team champions, and they fought against each other. This is like Axe and Smash of Demolition fighting each other at the Royal Rumble in 1989 in Houston, Texas. Nobody ever thought these two were going to go at it, and they did. This was the most gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching match of all time. I mean, this would have been like if Anthony Florio and myself are partners. We're best friends, we're everything else. And Devin Blades would say, if you lose this fight, your career is over, and and that person who wins gets your spot. And I would have to end up fighting my best friend of over 18 years or 19, almost 20 years now, that I would have to fight him knowing my career's on the line, that if he beats me, he takes my spot. I mean, that would be so unfair and so gut-wrenching. I don't know how I would react to that. And Mike Montero was basically forced and backed into a corner that if he did not win that fight, Jason Devine steals his spot. I mean, Mike Montero has been in the business for almost 10 years, and he almost lost it. But He won it, and we move on to the main event. In a double championship scramble fight, JT Dunn, he defeated Dave Cole and Triplicious, but wait, here's the reason why. He pinned Dave Cole, therefore, no belts gets exchanged. JT Dunn is still your RWA hype champion. Triplicious is still your RWA Triple Crown champion. So basically, we don't have a double champion here. The belts go to their respective owners, and that is that. So now the next fight or the next event was supposed to be October 18, and it's supposed to be live. It was originally going to be at the Chop Shop in Providence, Rhode Island at 681 Broadway. How news broke out on Saturday night that the Chop Shop is no more. Well, they have been moved from Broadway in Providence, and they're looking for a new location. I don't know if the lease ran out, if it was a rent issue, or something happened that was beyond RWA or the company's control. But this affects not only RWA but RICW, MCW, AWR. There was a lot of wrestling organizations that was doing shows at that location at 681 Broadway, and now they need to find a new home for this company. So right now, all matches and all stuff has been put on hold temporarily until a new home has been located. And my insiders have told me that they are looking into places right now throughout Rhode Island, Massachusetts. And if I hear any news about a new location, I will be one of the first ones to let you guys know. Who knows? I might have news for you next week. I might not. I don't know for sure. So with that said, that's it. The show's over, guys. I'm sorry. There's nothing more to add here. So Thursday night, we got a new edition of the College Football Thursday. That'll be hosted by Anthony Floyo. We're going to be going into our new week of college football action. On top of that, our latest power ranking or power poll, as we like to say. On Friday is NFL Friday. We're going to cover the Thursday night game, which was the Patriots and the Texans, and we'll go through the remainder of the Week 3 schedule for the National Football League. And a reminder, guys, this week is a pay-per-view week. It's the Night of Champions, and I do want to let you guys know that both shows will be on Anthony Floyo's channel. The preview and recap will be on Floyo's channel on Saturday night for the Clash of Champions is the preview, but that's basically on Floyo's fruition on what time he wants to do it. And then Sunday, I think it's going to be at 11 p.m. Eastern on the Tone 25 this time around. We're going to do that. And then, of course, Raw on Monday night. And we'll be right back here 1 week from tonight for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. That is it for now. For Anthony the Hitman Floyo, for the Twisted Angel, Dee Woodson, I am good old MF, Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for watching this. Leave a comment at the bottom of the video. What did you like about this show tonight? Of course, like it. Share it with all your friends on social media. You know the routine, Huzz and Hand Pounds. We are out. Have a good night, everybody. And so long for now. See you next week.